The Museum of Antigua and Barbuda, located in the heart of St. John's, is housed in the city's oldest building, the former colonial courthouse, originally constructed in 1747 on the foundations of an even earlier 17th century courthouse. Managed by the Historical and Archaeological Society of Antigua and Barbuda, this compact yet rich museum offers a chronological journey through the island's natural, cultural, and political history. Visitors are greeted with exhibits tracing the geological formation of Antigua and Barbuda, followed by artifacts from the earliest Amerindian inhabitants, including a life-size replica of an Arawak house, finely crafted pottery, stone tools, and fishing implements. The colonial period is represented through maps, sugar plantation models, European ceramics, and trade objects, while more recent history includes memorabilia from the independence movement and sports heritage, notably a cricket bat belonging to legendary Antiguan cricketer Sir Vivian Richards. The upper gallery holds a diverse collection of photographs, historical documents, and archaeological finds, offering intimate glimpses into daily life across centuries. Despite its modest size, the museum blends scholarly curation with local pride, making it an essential stop for anyone seeking to understand the deep layers of Antigua and Barbuda's identity. The Museum of Antigua and Barbuda, situated in the vibrant capital city of St. John's, is one of the nation's most treasured cultural institutions and a vital gateway to understanding the island's complex heritage. Occupying the historic former colonial courthouse, a sturdy, Georgian-style structure built in 1747 on the remnants of an even earlier 17th century courthouse, the building itself is a living artifact, bearing silent witness to more than 275 years of Antiguan history. Operated by the Historical and Archaeological Society of Antigua and Barbuda, the museum is thoughtfully curated to present a seamless narrative that spans millions of years. Beginning with the geological origins of the islands, visitors can explore displays that detail how Antigua and Barbuda emerged from ancient volcanic activity and coral reef formations, leading naturally into the story of the island's first inhabitants, the Amerindians. This section showcases an impressive collection of pre-Columbian artifacts, including a meticulously reconstructed, life-size Arawak house, complete with woven thatch, traditional stone tools, polished shell ornaments, and delicate clay pottery decorated with symbolic motifs. Moving forward in time, the museum presents the colonial era in vivid detail, with scale models of sugar plantations, period maps, European ceramics, iron tools, and maritime instruments that illustrate Antigua's transformation into a key sugar-producing colony under British rule. The grim realities of slavery and the resilience of the enslaved African population are subtly but powerfully conveyed through personal objects, archival photographs, and interpretive panels. Modern history is equally well represented, with exhibits on the island's 20th century political evolution, the struggle for independence, and national achievements, including a sports section featuring memorabilia from cricket legend Sir Vivian Richards, notably his own match-used bat. The upper gallery holds an eclectic array of archaeological finds, historical documents, and panoramic photographs that capture the essence of Antiguan life over centuries. Despite its compact size, the Museum of Antigua and Barbuda offers a rich, immersive experience that blends academic rigor with local storytelling, making it not just a place to view artifacts, but a living archive where the natural history, indigenous heritage, colonial struggles, and cultural triumphs of the islands are preserved and celebrated for both locals and visitors alike. History and architecture. The museum is housed in the former St. John's Courthouse, a striking colonial-era building completed in 1750. Its architect, Peter Harrison, is known for works across the West Indies and the United States. The ground floor originally served as a court of justice, while the upper floor housed the Legislative Council and Assembly. It remains the oldest building still in use in the city. Visit Antigua Barbuda. Antigua Museum's mission and collections, established in 1985 and managed by the Historical and Archaeological Society of Antigua and Barbuda. The museum is dedicated to preserving and interpreting the island's physical, cultural, and architectural heritage. It aims to serve both residents and international visitors through exhibitions, research initiatives, collaborative programming, and educational outreach. Antigua Museums. Visit Antigua Barbuda exhibits and features ground floor walk through Antigua's past, from its geological formation to the lives of Amerindian communities before colonization, and into modern cultural expressions. U.S. News Travel. Visit Antigua Barbuda Vendor Floor Library and Research Area. Houses a rich trove of pre-Columbian and historical artifacts, including ceramics, faunal remains, metal objects, texts, maps, and archival photographs. Visit Antigua Barbuda. Antigua Museum's unique artifacts. A standout exhibit includes the cricket bat of Sir Vivian Richards, a piece of sporting heritage with national pride. Wikipedia. Even situated outside, displayed on the museum grounds, are vintage railway locomotives from the island's sugar cane rail system, including models like the steam engine Marion and diesel engine Paul. Wikipedia displays. There are also exhibits dedicated to basketry, soldier regiment buttons, Royal Police Force memorabilia, and insights into Barbuda. Antigua Museum's visitor experience and practical info. Opening hours. Typically open Monday-Saturday, roughly 8:30 a.m. to 4 o'clock or 4:30 p.m. on cruise ship days or holidays. Hours may extend to Sunday, but when no tour groups are expected, it may remain closed. Antigua Museums via Toru. S News Travel Admission. There is a nominal fee. Frommer's notes a free admission with a suggested $2 donation, while multiple traveler reviews state a modest $3 USD fee is common. Frommer Strapudix Foes. The museum includes a gift shop offering jewelry, pottery, books on antique history, and local artworks. Frommer's via Torken and accessibility. Located on Long Street. It's just steps from cruise docks and major bus stations. A wheelchair ramp is also available. Viatravenda Cunity and educational engagement unlock the museum. Program, a monthly initiative featuring talks and guided tours at various heritage sites around Antigua and eventually Barbuda, designed to share local history and engage the community through interactive storytelling. Antigua Museum's research resources. The museum offers a public access research library and maintains extensive databases from maps to cultural archives, ideal for scholars, families, and history buffs alike. Antigua Story Net Visitor. Impressions. One reviewer described it as not a fancy museum by any account, but with extremely useful information, deeply enlightening, especially regarding Antigua and Barbuda's geological and Amerindian history. TripAdvisor Warmany noted that the museum is compact yet rich in storytelling, offering great value for its modest fee and conveniently located in the city center, making it a worthwhile stop even during short visits. U.S. News Travel Summary in a nutshell. Museum of Antigua and Barbuda stands out as a small but impactful cultural hub nestled within a historic colonial courthouse, featuring artifacts that span from geological origins through Amerindian life, colonial and contemporary eras. Its research, resources, educational outreach, and well-curated exhibits provide a layered storytelling experience, all delivered at a friendly entrance fee and centrally located for easy access. The museum was officially established in 1985 by the Historical and Archaeological Society of Antigua and Barbuda, which still manages it today. Its mission is to preserve, interpret, and present the island's physical, cultural, and architectural heritage, serving both local communities and the global audience of visitors who come via cruise ships, flights, and research expeditions. It operates not just as a static display of objects, but as an active center for historical research, archaeological preservation, and cultural education. The museum also houses a small research library and archive, open to scholars and members of the public by appointment, containing rare maps, photographs, manuscripts, and government documents. Inside, the permanent exhibitions take visitors on a chronological journey spanning millions of years of history. The story begins with the geological formation of Antigua and Barbuda, from volcanic origins to the coral limestone plateau that forms much of Antigua's landscape today. Geological samples, fossilized coral, and interpretive panels explain how these natural processes shaped not only the environment but also the resources available to human inhabitants. From there, the exhibits transition to the Amerindian era with one of the museum's most striking displays, a life-size reconstruction of an Arawak Taino house, complete with thatched roofing, woven sleeping hammocks, and clay cooking pots. Around it are original artifacts from archaeological digs, including stone celts, axes, shell beads, fishing tools, and intricately decorated ceramics, many dating back over 2,000 years. These objects give a tactile sense of the daily life, artistry, and seafaring skill of the indigenous peoples who inhabited the islands. Long before European contact, the next major section explores the European colonial period, specifically the arrival of the British in 1632, the rapid expansion of the sugar industry, and the transformation of Antigua into a hub of transatlantic trade. Scale models of sugar plantations, complete with windmills, boiling houses, and slave quarters, offer a visual understanding of how the island's economy was organized. Maritime artifacts, such as navigation instruments, ship models, and trade goods, speak to Antigua's role as a strategic naval base and trading port. The narrative does not shy away from the darker chapters of history. Interpretive displays address the enslavement of Africans, the inhumane conditions on sugar estates, and the resilience of enslaved communities in preserving African cultural traditions. Moving into modern history, the museum features exhibits on political and social changes in the 19th and 20th centuries, including emancipation in 1834, the labor movement of the 1930s, and the road to independence in 1981, photographs, political leaflets, and oral history. Recordings capture the voices of those who lived through these transitions. There is also a sports heritage section dedicated to Antigua's passion for cricket, including one of the museum's most famous items, the bat used by Sir Vivian Richards, Antigua's legendary cricketer and one of the greatest batsmen in the history of the sport. Beyond indoor displays, the museum grounds feature large historical artifacts, such as vintage railway locomotives from the island's now defunct sugarcane rail network. Among these is Marion, a steam-powered engine, and Paul, a diesel locomotive, both preserved as reminders of Antigua's industrial past. The upper floor houses the research library, a small archives room, and rotating special exhibitions. Topics for temporary exhibits have ranged from Barbuda's cultural traditions to the role of women in Antiguan society, as well as archaeological discoveries from recent digs. The museum is not simply a static institution. It engages the public. Through programs like Unlock the Museum, a monthly series of talks, heritage walks, and site visits that extend beyond the building itself to other historic locations in Antigua and eventually Barbuda. This outreach reflects the institution's commitment to making history accessible and relevant, especially to younger generations. Practical visitor details. The museum is typically open Monday through Saturday from around 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., with extended hours during cruise ship visits. Admission is modest, usually around $3 for adults, and occasionally free with a suggested donation. A small gift shop sells locally made jewelry, pottery, books on Antiguan history, and artworks by contemporary artisans. The central location makes it easy to reach on foot from the cruise ship pier or the main bus station, and the building is equipped with a wheelchair-accessible entrance. In short, the Museum of Antigua and Barbuda is far more than a quick stop. For tourists, it is a compact but powerfully curated space that condenses centuries of natural history, human ingenuity, colonial struggle, cultural resilience, and national pride into one walkable timeline. For anyone seeking to truly understand Antigua and Barbuda beyond its beaches and resorts, this museum offers an essential, deeply human perspective on the island's journey from prehistory to the present day. Welcome and exterior. The museum is housed in the former St. John's Courthouse, a stately Georgian-style building completed in 1747. Some records cite 1750. The oldest structure, still in civic use in the city. Wikipedia. Antigua Museums located on Long Street, in the heart of St. John's. It's just a short walk from both cruise docks and bus terminals. Lonely. Planet Viator, layout and flow. Ground floor. The main exhibition area begins with Antigua and Barbuda's geological formation, then passes through the Amerindian Arawak era with a life-size replica Arawak house, pottery, fishing tools, and stone artifacts. Antigua Museums, Wikipedia. Antigua Cruise, port.com. Visit Antigua Barbuda from there. The narrative continues into the colonial period, featuring models of sugar plantations, interpretive displays on enslavement, and reflections on the sugar economy. AntiguaCruisePort.com. Visit Antigua, Barbuda, U.S. News, Travel, the modern section highlights Antigua's journey to independence in 1981 and cultural icons, most notably the cricket bat of Sir Vivian Richards. Wikipedia.u.s News. Travel, Antigua, Cruiseport.com, outdoor displays, in the courtyard. You'll find historical narrow-gauge railway locomotives from Antigua's sugar industry, including models like Marion Steam, 1911, Bessie Petrel, 1917, a Plymouth Petrel, 1919, and Paul Diesel, 1946, closing parenthesis. Wikipedia. Antigua, Cruiseport.com. Upper floor and library. Second floor houses a library and research archive, complete with ceramics, faunal remains, metal objects, historical maps, photographs, manuscripts, and other materials available to visitors and researchers alike. Antigua. MUSEUMSUS News. Travel directory.book Antigua.travel. It's a quiet, memory-rich space for those eager to dig deeper into Antigua and Barbuda's history and heritage. Museum, mission and outreach. Founded in 1985. The museum is managed by the Historical and Archaeological Society of Antigua and Barbuda. Antigua Museums. Visit Antigua Barbuda. Its mission includes preserving and interpreting artifacts, advancing understanding of the island's heritage, documenting regional significance, and educating through collections and community programming. Antigua Museums Visit. Antigua Barbuda. The museum also publishes and sells heritage booklets and guides, such as The Story of the Arawaks, Antigua y Barbuda, a historical sketch, and The Archaeology of Antigua and Barbuda, antiguahistory.net. Visitor Essentials Opening Hours. Monday-Thursday, 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. On cruise ship days, Fridays, 8:30 a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. Regular hours. 3:30 p.m. on cruise days. Antigua Museums. Some sources note, operating Monday-Saturday, from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Vieta U.S. News. Travel admission, modest fee. Some note around $3 or a suggested $2. Donations small but rich in value. U.S. News Travel Viator facilities includes a gift shop offering local crafts, handmade jewelry, pottery, books, maps, prints, and more. Antiguahistory.net +1 accessibility. Wheelchair ramp available at the Long Street entrance. Viator nearby landmarks, just steps from the public market. St. John's Cathedral, Heritage Key, Fort James, and several walking trails. Lonely Planet Viatory, walk-through itinerary step. Location, highlights entrance, courtyard, admire, colonial facade. Check out vintage locomotives. Ground floor. Geological to Amerindian, explore geological displays and Arawak life via artifacts and use of the replica house. Ground floor colonial era, learn about sugar economy through plantation models and poignant historical narratives. Ground floor modern and cricket view, latter-day history and Viv Richards' iconic bat. Upstairs archives and exhibits, investigate maps, manuscripts, photos, and rotating exhibits in the research library. Gift shop, browse for heritage books, handmade crafts, local artwork. Explore surroundings, walk to nearby cathedral, market, or Fort James for a broader cultural experience. Architectural, heritage, and founding mission. The museum resides in St. John's historic old courthouse, built around 1747 to 1750 and designed by prominent colonial architect Peter Harrison. This Georgian-style structure served as a legal and administrative center for centuries. The ground floor functioned as the Court of Justice, while the upper level housed the Legislative Council and Assembly. Antigua Museums established in 1985. The museum is overseen by the Historical and Archaeological Society of Antigua and Barbuda. Its mission, to advance understanding of national history, preserve cultural artifacts, and educate both residents and visitors through authentic storytelling. Antigua Museums Visit. Antigua Barbuda. Main Gallery. Exhibits by Erath, the ground floor gallery. Guides visitors through a layered journey. Geological foundations, displays, trace Antigua and Barbuda's volcanic origins and limestone formation, featuring coral specimens and rock maps. Antiguahistory.net. Amerindian life and spirituality. A standout is the life-size reconstruction of an Arawak house, surrounded by artifacts like pottery, shell tools, ceremonial Zemi sculptures. An early basketry Wikipedia, antiguahistory.net. Archaic tools and shell art. Display cases explore prehistoric tools, spindle whorls, and design motifs, linking daily life and artisanal traditions. Antiguahistory.net. Colonial and plantation era. A detailed 1748 map shows estate boundaries, accompanied by items like weights, trade instruments, plantation ledgers, and a graphic depiction of the triangular trade and slave. Advertisements. Antiguahistory.net. A scale model of a sugar plantation circa 1900 by William Thibault offers a visual snapshot of plantation structure and production. Antiguahistory.net. Military and resistance. Artifacts include military insignia, weapons, and documentation of events like slave rebellions and maroon communities. Antiguahistory.net. Maritime history. A map of shipwrecks and recovered artifacts complement broader colonial narratives. Antiguahistory.net. Modern identity. The story continues. With emancipation, national identity, and independence, culminating in the celebrated cricket bat and ball of Sir Viv. Rich is a sports icon whose bat stands as a symbol of national pride. Antiguahistory.net. Wikipedia. Outdoor heritage, locomotives. Outside, the museum displays actual sugarcane railway locomotives that once traversed Antigua. Marion Kerr, Stuart Brazil steam engine. Built 1911 Bessie, Motorrail Simplex petrol engine. C. 1917 Plymouth, BL1013, US-built petrol engine. C. 1919 Paul Hudson Hunslet diesel engine. 1946. Wikipedia. AntiguaCruiseport.com. These artifacts provide tangible links to Antigua's industrial and transportation history. Upper floor. Archives and Research Library. The upstairs area houses a library and research archive, featuring vast collections of pre-Columbian and historic artifacts, ceramics, faunal remains, metal objects, primary and secondary materials, maps, manuscripts, photographs, and text. Digital resources, scanned materials, databases, and film archives. Antigua Museums +1. This resource supports serious inquiry and is actively used for both public education and academic research. Outreach and community engagement. Unlock the Museum initiative, launched by curator Michelle Henry. This program brings heritage directly to the public through lectures, field trips, and interactive workshops highlighting lesser-known sites. Across Antigua and Barbuda. Antigua Observer newspaper, educational programs. Heritage initiatives include tablet-based slideshows, school presentations, and events engaging over 40 student groups annually. millreeffund.org. The museum also publishes several heritage booklets available in the gift shop. Titles include The Story of the Arawaks in Antigua, Ibarbudan, Chigua, Ibarbuda, A Historical Sketch, The Way We Talk and Other Antiguan Folkways. Betty S. Hope, and Antiguan Sugar Plantation. The Archaeology of Antigua and Barbuda. Antiguahistory.net. Operational details as an access. Open Monday, Thursday, and Friday, shorter hours. On cruise ship days, with limited Saturday-Sunday openings tied to cruise schedules. Antigua Museums, educational collaboration. The museum partners with entities like the Dockyard Museum, Betty's Hope Trust, and archaeological centers to extend its reach across heritage. Sites. Antigua Museums Wikipedia +1. Staff leadership. Curator Michelle Henry leads a diverse team: research, librarians, digital technicians, heritage educators, and visitor experience staff, fall guided by a volunteer. Board comprising community leaders and scholars. Antigua Museums. Summary snapshot. Feature highlight: building, 18th century-old courthouse, Georgian architecture. Geological, Amerindian, colonial, plantation, resistance. Sports artifacts, outdoors, historic railway locomotives, from sugar industry archives, artifacts. Maps, photographs, manuscripts. Digital resources. Outreach, unlock the museum program, school engagement, heritage publications, partnerships, collaborative projects with local historical institutions, staff and governance, multidisciplinary team and volunteer board guiding the museum.